Today's topic I was given was is EHR and doctors' love and hate relationship. So when I heard that topic, so Dr. Basrajani called me a couple of weeks ago, and he said that you need to speak on the doctors' love and hate relationship. So I said, okay, that sounds very interesting. So I'm not going to talk about so it's a love story. Okay, so I don't have any presentation to show you. I just have a good love story to tell you about the EHR and doctors. Okay, so it started two years ago. 2 years ago, we were working on a research with a very esteemed management institute, IIM Ahmedabad, with the PhD students and MBA students on the EHR adoption. EMR adoption in Indian healthcare system in the public sector as well as the private sector. And one of the hypotheses we have found was, so as everybody knows, there is a general understanding that the same understanding we started with. We started with the hypothesis that doctors don't want to use it. The biggest problem in adoption in EHR is the attitude. So that is the same, very same assumptions we have also started our research with, and apparently what we found out was totally different. And this is all evidence-based research. So and I'm going to go through it in detail. So meanwhile, it happens was I was reading a book. I was reading a book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. I'm sure you must have heard about that. It's a beautiful book. What it says is, so what the core of the book is that people don't buy what you sell. People buy why do you sell. Right? You really need to believe into believe in the purpose of whatever you are doing. So that made me thinking that are we really selling the EHR or the IT companies or the EHR companies really selling what to the doctors or why to the doctors? So I have started my expedition on finding that why. Let me find out the reason why the adoption is a challenge. What is the problem? So I have started that journey of finding why. And I have interviewed probably more than 150 doctors in that 3 months. And one of the very interesting incident happened was I happened to meet one of the very senior doctor and a reputed doctor in Ahmedabad who's been practicing for probably more than 30 years. And I have talked to him. So I went to him and I asked him, do you use EHR? He said, no, I don't. I said, okay, why don't you use EHR? So he asked me the counter questions. Why should I use EHR? So obviously I started with, it gives you complete and accurate information about the patient's medical data and which leads to the better diagnosis and ultimately leads to the better care. So he said, so the interesting answer I got is, I've been practicing since last 30 years. When he started his practice, there was no EHR and he still has a better diagnosis. So he said, better diagnosis doesn't come from the EHR, but it comes from the great knowledge of subject and a great experience. And I have both, so I don't think so I need an EHR. I said, okay, but it also gives you the data for the research and the academic purpose. He said, I'm not involved in any research and academic purpose. And the question went on and on and on and on. And whatever the answer I give, whatever the why I give, he always had an answer. So I was a little bit, nervous and stressed. It's like, okay, I'm not able to get the why. Why should doctor use EHR? So he asked me, what are you looking for, Rohan? So I said, I'm looking for why, how do I convince doctors and how do I find the very purposeful reasons that doctors should use EHR? So he said, let me tell you why should we use EHR. I have an answer for you. I said, very well, thank you. So he said, first of all, the first point is, we need to use EHR to increase our productivity and efficiency. today is a choice, tomorrow it will be force. And once you get into the force mode, it will be more difficult to get it adopted. It's the same like a GST, right? You are enforced to use it. It took 6 months, but now it's pretty much settled. So it will eventually get settled, but you have to use it. And the fifth point is the marketing purpose. Now, how the marketing purpose? The whole patient care is shifting. The whole paradigm shift is happening on the collaborative patient care. Now, the collaborative patient care requires data. Doctor needs to contact patients. The whole care is moving from the reactive patient care to proactive patient care. And for the proactive patient care, you again need a data. So those are the very good reasons for the doctors to use EHR. So that made listening to those, my hypothesis become very clear, and I actually got the answer that yes, this today EMR companies or these all EHR IT companies are indeed selling what to the doctors, but not why to the doctors, right? So I started digging out each point. Like first point was the efficiency. Efficiency and increasing the productivity in the hospitals or for the doctors. Now, for the very obvious reason, one of the biggest point is that we need to use EHR, or doctor needs to use EHR, or entering data into the computer is obviously the primary purpose is again to capture the data, but also to increase the efficiency or the productivity of the doctors. But apparently, it happens the other way. When I was talking to doctors, they said that normally in an OPD, I take 10 to 15 minutes per patient. That's an average, right? But using the computer, they started taking around 15 to 20 minutes. So the time has been increased. So now, there are two perspectives on this. One is in the favor of doctors, one is not in the favor of doctors. And I'll talk about both. So these IT companies, so I started looking into the EHR, that why it is taking too long. Then I realized that one size doesn't fit all, right? It's a one size doesn't fit all, and these majority of the EHR companies have a standardized platform which can be given to the doctors for the EMR capturing the data. Now that made a lot of healthcare IT companies might argue that yes, we do have a customization in our platform, but no, I'm not looking for the customization, because customization is you are fulfilling a particular doctor's requirement. Okay, you really need a personalization software, and when I say personalization to the subject, not to the person. Now, what the personalization again means is, and what is the customization do? When customization is, I'm going to a doctor, let's say I'm in a healthcare IT company, I'm going to a doctor, I'm asking his requirement, he gives me, I need this, and I exactly give what he wants. So without understanding the subject, so as a solution architecture, I've been working as a solution architecture and a software user experience design architecture for last 10 years. And as an architecture, I don't ask my customers, what do you want? I only ask, what is the purpose? What are you trying to get out of it? Okay, because I understand the IT. I understand the background of the IT. I want to understand the field. So I really encourage those. So what we really need is the IT companies and doctors need to shake hands, understand what the requirement is, what is the purpose behind it, and make a personalized, like there is a set of EMR for the orthopedicians, there should be a set of the whole EMR for cardiologists, neurologists, or even individual surgical branches. And that what make it more usable form, which can ultimately which can be more useful for the doctors. So I said, yeah, that's an easy enough. Then why aren't IT doing it? So I started talking to a lot of EMR companies that what is the problem with that. So I found very interesting fact that EMR needs creating such EMR needs a very dedicated focus and a dedicated purpose and give a commitment. Now any software development needs effort, need resources, and involved huge huge cost. These three things are very important. Okay, so and purely if we do cost analysis of developing this software, then return on investment is not giving you the good value proposition to the IT companies, because usage of EMR in the hospital was very uncertain. They were actually dealing with very uncertainty whether they will use it or not, so my product will work or not, right? And at the end of the day, those IT companies are also there to do the business. So that was a very bad value proposition. So I started looking into all the EMRs, and majority of the EMRs are actually the part of the HIMS, the really full-fledged the HIMS or an ERP solution for the hospitals. So the companies who have an HIMS, they also have an EMR module. Now those EMR module, why they have there? To just complete their menu or complete their suite. But majority of the resources, majority of the development was happening into the core HMIS product. So HMIS products are being matured, but there was no focus because product maturity happens with an adoption. When adoption happens, the feedback comes. When feedback comes, you go into the development mode. But there was no feedbacks, right? So all the energy, all the effort was majorly focused on the HMIS development, and that was one of the biggest reason that EMR was not getting into the matured level. Now, coming to the, so now in favor of IT side, so I've also talked to a lot of doctors, what are the other reasons why don't you use it? And one of the very common reason, and I think, I'm sure most of have heard about it, is so doctor said that we need an eye contact. And eye contact is very important for us with the patient. We cannot spend time on writing in a computer because that loses our focus. That is one of the very common reason I have received from majority of the doctors. And so I tell them that I can have a completely focused approach. I can have a complete good eye contact, and I can write in a computer. So obviously they said that yes, that of course you can, because you are from a computer background. Okay, I'm from a computer background, but why? Because I'm doing that repetitively. We are able to get. You can have a complete eye contact writing in a piece of paper because you have been doing since years, right? So your hands are writing, you are writing subconsciously. So similarly, once you start getting starts getting into the EMR, you will give it, of course, there will be 1 month or 2 months will be the period where you will find a little bit difficulties, but eventually you will get through it. But the biggest, most important, so what is more important is you get an initiative and get started with it. And those are the reasons. And so to conclude, I don't think so doctor hates it. I think doctor loves it, and the doctor wants to use it, but they are looking for the right software which can help them, which can answer those whys. And so that's it. Thank you very much.